Yeah. Not great, Bob. Yesterday this happened to us.
The 11th pick belongs to the Portland Trailblazers.
That means Dallas has moved inside the
All
top
right.
four. The
All
Mavericks
right.
have never won the lottery.
Thank for that
Yeah.
kick in the nuts, and then let's follow it up with another swift kick in the nuts.
By the way, another team. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I know it's great to watch that. I was watching for the logo before the announcement. I saw that pinwheel. I saw the top of it, and I went, oh, no.
No, not already. It's too soon. Not 11. No.
Very tough night for our Trailblazers. We had a lot of people. There's, look, when these things happen, you're absolutely going to get some pushback and, I guess, disagreement or debate. There's a lot of people, I think, more in the camp today of like, yeah, why'd you do what you did this year?
It didn't make a lot of sense.
But you do. Like, I want to read this text, okay? I don't like to reveal a lot of, I'm not going to name names. Just going to say it was my brother-in-law, okay? Shoots me a text yesterday, unsolicited, as soon as we got the news we were 11th.
He's a diehard. He's
I mean,
live and die with it.
If you cut the man open,
There's red and black.
red
in there.
and black comes out, you'd be like, what planet you from? And he'd be like,
Yeah.
planet Allen, Vulcan.
He poops out.
I'm a Vulcan.
Poops out pinwheels. That's what he does.
Text me, 4:17 p.m.
Oh, that's right. That's hot. Hot off the
Right
press.
after it,
Ooh,
right?
We just got kicked in the nuts. What's the takeaway?
F this. I said, can't love the winning, but get mad at the results.
Nope.
They effed themselves.
Yep.
3 minutes later. No, 6 minutes later, because I responded right away. LOL, not that worried about it. I hope he goes to Charlotte. Talking about Flag. They suck as a franchise.
Don't worry.
I said, no, don't you worry. Asa Newell's going to have you right back loving every second of this team.
Yes.
With his 10-4, playing 21 minutes a night. They'll win 38 games next year,
You're going to be all in.
and they'll tell you you're close, and
You're all
you'll
in.
buy it.
We're one more move away, dude. We are one step away from contending in the NBA.
Now, I should note, he is enough of a psycho to acknowledge himself. He is a psycho. So he laughed at this, and he's like, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, you turn on a preseason game and you get highlights of Mario Hezonja throwing down a dunk, and you're going to be right back to where you were. But in the immediate
happens.
reaction to it, you're going to be livid and at least for a brief moment say, maybe I was wrong.
And it just, I'm not surprised that we had people in mentions that were basically like, if your contention to get Flag was lose more, look at the team that got him. We had this from Jeff. Was your contention the Blazers needed to lose more games? If so, you're definitely wrong. Portland needed to win more games to get Flag. In which I'm literally responding now. So is your contention that only getting the number 1 pick mattered?
That's the only one.
You didn't want number 2 in this draft? Because I think, line 2, Joe Cronin disagreeing with you.
Would you rather have the 2 picks? So San Antonio got the 2 pick. Did they win more or less games than the Blazers this year?
2 less.
Okay. Philadelphia is the 3rd pick. More or less?
Less.
Charlotte, 4th
Less.
pick. Utah, 5th pick.
Less.
Washington, 6th pick.
Less.
New Orleans, 7th pick.
Less.
Brooklyn, 8th pick. Toronto, 9th pick. And Houston, the 10th pick.
Yeah.
So
Phoenix, Houston, yeah.
Phoenix,
Yeah,
Houston.
same
You get the
same
point. It goes
yeah.
to Houston.
So
but yes,
every
it was
team in
Phoenix's
front of you
pick.
sans the Mavericks, who got the biggest of prizes.
Dallas got they're the belle of the ball.
Yep.
They won the lottery last night, literally and figuratively. But every other team benefited, and I think the thing that frustrates me most about being a fan of this team, I get a lot of this. I had a buddy who texted me yesterday. He's like, I think you hate the Blazers. And it's like, dude.
I get people that ask me that all the time.
It couldn't be
When
more
they
the
see it,
opposite.
If they'd bring it up, yeah, man, I think your co-host doesn't like the team. And I'm like, well.
I don't like the direction of it. I don't like the ownership group. The problem that I have with it ultimately is that I as a show host, I don't hate them. I want them to be good. Do you realize how much easier my job is this time of year if the Blazers are playing in the playoffs? If we're coming in today and it's not bitching for 24 hours about the lottery and then moving on, and instead we're previewing Game 4 of the second round of the playoffs, and you got a 2-1 series lead against insert opponent here, and you're 2 wins away from going to a conference
I'd love to be
finals.
the Indiana Pacers
Do you
today.
have
It'd be
any
great.
idea how much easier that makes our job
We'd have
through
a
May?
shot at a title or getting to the finals.
Like,
I'd be all about it.
The relevancy of basketball is now going to come to an end for a lot of people. I know people will still tune into the playoffs, and then we'll pick back up again for the draft, and then it'll evaporate again, and it won't be a day in and day out conversation for a lot of the year. I desperately want them to be better. I am somebody who has had a fundamental agreement for a number of years now about the way they have handled things and the way they've planned out trying to build this roster back up. And the biggest issue that I had last year, going into the season, there are too many quotes on tape of me saying it, is that you kept too many veteran players that are going to, one, limit the minutes of your young guys who you're trying to develop, and they're going to put you in a position to probably win too many games, and you're going to end up right where you don't want to be. Where you don't want to be in the NBA is not good enough and not bad enough. And that's the definition of the Portland Trailblazers right now. The tough news for you is it's not going to change. Where are they going to go next year? Are they going to fall off a cliff and be a top 5 drafting team? Or are they going to push, maybe win 3 or 4 more games and be a playing game? They're clearly heading in that direction. This was your last opportunity with the development of the young players to say we have a chance to go snag one more star, which is the thing that you are missing most, and it is the missing ingredient that will keep you from doing anything that matters in the years to come. You had a 3-point-whatever% chance last night to hit. It didn't hit for you. It hit for Dallas. But the teams who were slightly ahead of you or behind you, depending on how you want to define it, in the win-loss records benefited greatly. You had a legitimate shot at the end of the season to chase down the San Antonio Spurs. But for whatever reason this year, unlike in years past, you decided not to tank until it was too late. You beat San Antonio in a game. They ended up with a number 2 overall pick, which could turn into a superstar player or a trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and you're left with 11 saying who are the scraps at the end of the lottery.
Well, the good thing about the 11th pick in the draft, I got a history of the 11th pick in the draft. We've had the 11th pick in the draft.
Yeah, who was the last one?
Can you name him?
I can.
Oh, you know who it is?
Oh, I know who it is.
Swag. I played a game with Swag today. I said, can you name the best player that's been picked 11th since the year 2000 in NBA draft history?
Oh, in the NBA draft, I don't know if I could do that.
Well, I gave him
87 hints, and I
may give him the first couple hints I just thought were fairly obvious. I gave him even more hints that he couldn't. He went Riggins on me.
He went Riggins, just blanked on you?
Just completely
so I
blank
thought,
stare.
you eventually
I basically told you.
Led me there with crumbs like I'm going to.
I fed you. I put the spoon in your mouth, and you're like, this is good.
I was Hansel and Gretel. That's pretty much what was going on.
I'll go through that list here in a minute.
I thought he was drafted later than that.
No, it was just on the outside of the top 10. We'll go through that. I'll go through the players that have been already mocked to Portland. It's mock season, baby.
Mock season.
The good news for Portland before I play this Joe Cronin audio, because Sean Hyken was there. He did a great report. Holdall talked about it on his podcast. The good news about this before I play our Joe Cronin audio is 11th traditionally in the NBA draft is set to go get a great role player. We already have a superstar. We are set. We're in a perfect position to add an 8th man off the bench.
I have
That's
said
what we need. We don't have enough of
nobody
those.
develops 8-9 players like the Portland Trailblazers.
Here is Joe Cronin in Chicago on getting the 11th pick.
Of course, you always want to move up, but this is a draft that we like. We like the depth of it. There's good players all throughout the lottery, so we'll be just fine where we landed.
It'll be just fine where we landed. He was talking about keeping the pick versus trading it.
Always want to be open-minded. We'll do our due diligence, do a lap around the league and see what's available, but, we'll also focus heavily on, okay, this player's another addition that we can make to this team.
And he talked about drafting for position versus, best player available. Which direction do you kind of lean?
I always hope to approach and go through the draft taking the best player available. I hope we don't deviate, but need is on our mind. Like we think about, okay, what exact types of guys do we need to add? But I think the draft is mostly, grab the best player available and then figure it out after that.
So I want to be very transparent here. I didn't hear these clips until I came in this morning. Okay, that's the first time I heard that clip. Can you catch what just caught my ear? And I'm curious if it caught your ear. I want to play this one more time.
I caught this last night.
I always hope to approach and go through the draft taking the best player available. I hope we don't deviate, but
what would you?
I hope we don't. You're the general manager.
Are you not the decision maker? Do you not get to call who the team is?
We don't deviate.
I mean, it tells you all you need to know. That is he the ultimate decision maker?
No, but I've always thought this.
Is it a Burt Cold thing?
Well, no, I think it's a Schmitz pick.
Okay, sure.
I think all these picks are Schmitz picks. I think there's a reason you hired that dude, and he's your assistant general manager.
Yeah.
It's him. He's the talent evaluator.
He just gets the ultimate say on who we're drafting.
That's a wild thing to say out loud.
I hope we don't
deviate from what we normally do.
You're the guy in charge. That's something a fan would say. Hey, let's take best available. I hope they don't deviate from their plan. You're the guy that makes the decision. You're the one in charge of not deviating.
it couldn't have gone worse for them yesterday. It really couldn't have. Maybe going to 12th, I guess, but like
Yeah, technically it could have gotten worse.
It could have gotten worse.
Technically there was a chance it could get worse.
But you slid from 10 to 11, and now we've got the mocked players. Also, what is the history of the 11th pick? I'll give you the list of the 11th pick in the NBA draft since the year 2000.
We've had it twice.